Hello everyone, welcome to the Icewine knowledge class. In the past few episodes, we've explored the origins and history of Icewine, examined the unique climate and soil of the Niagara region, introduced the strict VQA standards, and looked deep into grape growing, harvesting, pressing, and fermentation. Together, we've learned how a single grape, from the moment it's planted, eventually becomes the golden liquid inside a bottle of ice wine. So, now the question is, why is ice wine so beloved around the world? Before we begin the real tasting, there's something small, yet often ignored, that we need to understand first. The wine glass. A glass plays a crucial role. It is the medium through which our senses of smell and taste perceive the wine's complexity and character. A well-designed glass can elevate the entire experience, creating moments of true enjoyment and memorable flavors. A wrong glass, however, does nothing more than deliver the liquid into your mouth. Part 1. The Flavor Magic of Ice Wine. Why a great wine deserves the right glass. You might be wondering, is a wine glass really that important? The answer is absolutely yes. A wine glass is not just a container. It is an amplifier for both aroma and flavor. The right glass allows you to perceive more fragrance, makes the acidity feel brighter, and lets the sweetness become rounder and smoother. But the wrong glass can make the very same wine taste flat, dull, or even unpleasant. If you want to test this for yourself, try pouring the same ice wine into 2 glasses of different shapes. Smell them, taste them. You'll be surprised at how different the wine can feel. So, how exactly does a wine glass influence the flavor of ice wine? Let's start by understanding the structure of a wine glass. A standard wine glass is made up of 4 main parts: the lip, the bowl, the stem, and the base. First, the lip, the part of the glass that touches your lips. The width of the opening determines how aromas are released, both in direction and in speed. Next, we look at the bowl, often called the ball of the glass. Its shape determines how much of the wine is exposed to air and affects the way the wine swirls inside the glass. The design of the bowl also shapes the path of evaporating aromas. Delicate floral and fruity notes rise toward the lip, while heavier aromas, like leather or oak, settle lower in the bowl. A well-designed glass allows these layers of aroma to unfold gradually and release in harmony. The third part is the stem. This is what allows us to hold the wine glass elegantly without touching the bowl itself. Why is this important? Because our hands carry heat, and direct contact with the bowl can warm the wine and alter its ideal serving temperature. This matters even more for white wines and sparkling wines, which are extremely sensitive to temperature. So, a well-designed stem isn't just about elegance, it helps preserve the wine at its best. Lastly, we have the base, which supports the entire structure of the glass. A well-designed base keeps the glass stable and secure on the table, and it also contributes to the overall balance and the way the glass feels in your hand. Now, let's talk about our sense of taste. One of the most widely circulated ideas is that different parts of the tongue are responsible for sensing the 4 basic tastes: sweetness, bitterness, acidity, and saltiness, although modern science has shown that this is not entirely accurate. And many researchers have questioned this model. It is still a concept familiar to many wine enthusiasts, and often used as a reference when discussing wine tasting. 1. The tip of the tongue is most sensitive to sweetness, while the back of the tongue is the least sensitive to it. 2. The back of the tongue is most sensitive to bitterness, and the tip is the least sensitive. 3. Acidity is perceived most strongly along the middle edges of the tongue, and weakest at the very tip. 4. Saltiness is sensed relatively evenly across all parts of the tongue. In short, most of our taste receptors, those that perceive sweetness, acidity, saltiness, and bitterness, are concentrated on the tongue and the upper throat. Because of this, wine can present very different aromas and flavors when tasted from glasses of different shapes. Multiple factors come into play here. The movements and adjustments of our head and body while drinking are largely controlled subconsciously. The shape of the wine glass guides these natural motions, helping us tilt our head to the right position so we can drink comfortably without spilling. When the wine enters the mouth, it comes into contact with the taste receptors on the tongue and the palate, creating sensations of sweetness, saltiness, acidity, or bitterness. When the wine enters the mouth, it comes into contact with the taste receptors on the tongue and the palate, creating sensations of sweetness, saltiness, acidity, or bitterness. At the same time, volatile aromatic compounds rise through the mouth and nasal passages and reach the olfactory receptors located just beneath the eyes. These different scent signals, combined with taste, form our overall sensory experience of food and drink. In other words, when we eat or drink, we are not only tasting, we are also smelling. And this combination of taste and aroma is what we call flavor. The width of the lip influences how you move your head, which in turn changes the path the wine takes as it enters your mouth. A wide-lipped glass makes you lower your head as you sip. The wine flows from the tip of the tongue, passes through the center, and then goes down the throat, highlighting sweetness. More volatile aromas travel upward through the nasal passages, making bold aromas even more expressive. This type of glass suits wines that are full-bodied, aromatic, and low in acidity and sweetness, such as Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and other rich, heavy red wines. A narrow-rimmed glass, on the other hand, encourages you to tilt your head back. The wine then falls by gravity directly onto the center and sides of the tongue, balancing the sweetness detected at the tip with the acidity sensed along the edges. This style of glass works best for lighter-bodied wines, with a harmonious balance of acidity and sweetness, such as Icewines and Rieslings. Now, let's take a look at some of the major international wine glass styles and the types of wines they are designed for. 1. Burgundy glass. The Burgundy glass is one of the most widely used designs. It is created specifically for lighter-bodied, highly aromatic, high-acidity red wines, such as Pinot Noir and Gamay. Its most distinctive feature is the large, rounded bolafon, called a balloon shape. The bowl curves almost like a sphere, which helps concentrate the wine's aromas. When you swirl the glass, the aromas are quickly released and gather at the lip. Because Pinot Noir is a high-acidity red wine, the slightly shorter bowl and the inward tapered, almost triangular lip are intentional. They guide the wine into the mouth quickly and allow it to spread rapidly to the sides of the tongue, where acidity is most strongly perceived, helping the drinker fully appreciate the wine's brightness and structure. 2. Bordeaux glass. The Bordeaux glass is the most common style of red wine glass. It is ideal for full-bodied, tannin-rich red wines such as Cabernet Sauvignon, Malbec, and Shiraz. Compared with the Burgundy glass, the Bordeaux glass has a narrower bowl and a taller body. This design is intentional. Full-bodied high-tannin wines, like Cabernet Sauvignon, need more contact with air. The extra vertical space at the top of the glass provides ample room for swirling, allowing the wine to interact with oxygen and helping to soften the tannins. In addition, the tall, straight shape of the glass guides the wine more quickly and evenly into the mouth, allowing the drinker to fully experience the power and structure of these robust red wines. 3. Chardonnay glass. The Chardonnay glass is similar in shape to the Bordeaux glass, but it is smaller in size. It doesn't provide as much headspace for the wine. This is because Chardonnay white wines and rose wines are usually lighter-bodied and have more pronounced floral aromas. The smaller glass size helps reduce the contact between the wine and oxygen, allowing the floral aromas to linger longer. At the same time, this glass shape also reduces the distance between the wine and the lip of the glass, allowing the taster to smell the wine's aroma more quickly. 4. Port glass. The port glass is also called a dessert wine glass. It is suitable for various sweet wines, such as port wine, noble rot sweet wine, ice wine, and sherry. Considering that sweet wines have a high sugar content, are usually consumed after a meal, and are not drunk in large quantities, dessert wine glasses are much smaller than other types of wine glasses. Imagine at a wine party, If someone poured you 80 milliliters of ice wine in a 750 milliliters glass, you would definitely find it strange. The mouth of the port glass is also relatively narrow, which is more conducive to concentrating the aroma of the wine. The tapered design allows the drinker to tilt their head back, and the wine flows directly to the middle and sides of the tongue by gravity, allowing the drinker to directly experience the balance of sweetness and acidity in the sweet wine. 5. Flute glass. The flute glass is the classic choice for sparkling wines. Its long, slender shape and narrow bowl not only look elegant, but also let you clearly watch the steady stream of bubbles rising from the bottom of the glass. The narrow opening helps preserve those fine, persistent bubbles, keeping the wine lively and refreshing. A simple way to remember all these glasses for wines. Bold reds need a big bowl. High-acid wines shine in a narrow rim. Sweet wines work best in a smaller glass. And for champagne, the flute is the best. We've already introduced the port glass, a versatile glass often used for sweet wines, including ice wine. But thanks to the dedication of winemakers here in Ontario, Canada, Icewine eventually gained a glass designed just for itself. On October 18, 1999, the world-renowned glassmaker Riedel partnered with one of Canada's most iconic ice wine wineries, Enniskillen, to begin a very special experiment. They invited Icewine pioneer Donald Zeraldo, master winemaker Carl Kaiser, and Riedel's designer, Georg Riedel, to work together on creating the ultimate ice wine glass. 2 years later, their collaboration led to the birth of the Vinum Extreme Ice Wine Glass, the first glass ever crafted specifically for ice wine. Its introduction marked a new chapter for ice wine, a moment when this sweet, golden beverage stepped beyond tradition and entered a world where sensory science and aesthetic design come together. Of course, you can enjoy ice wine in a traditional port or sweet wine glass, but compared with port, noble, rot, or sherry, ice wine is celebrated for something quite different. Its intensely expressive aromatics and its signature balance of sweetness and bright acidity. To highlight this unique advantage, the Vinum Extreme Ice Wine Glass offers several distinctive features, designed specifically for ice wine, features that set it apart from ordinary dessert wine glasses. First, its size is slightly larger, including both the height and the volume of the bowl. Although ice wine is classified as a sweet wine, its aromas are incredibly complex. The slightly larger bowl of the Vinum Extreme glass helps these aromas open up and release more rapidly. Traditional dessert wine glasses often feature a more closed, tapered lip. This design gathers the rapidly unfolding aromas of ice wine, enhancing their layers and complexity, and helping prevent those delicate fragrances from dissipating too quickly. The lightest and most volatile aromas, typically the floral and fruity notes, rise to the middle layer, near the lip of the glass. Aromas with green, herbal tones, along with earthy and mineral elements, tend to settle slightly lower. The heaviest aromas, such as woody notes and alcohol, remain toward the bottom of the glass. A larger bowl allows the wine to move more freely when you swirl it. But unlike full-bodied red wines, where swirling helps soften tannins, swirling ice wine serves a different purpose. It weights a larger surface area of the glass, increasing evaporation and intensifying the release of its delicate aromas. Second, the slightly tapered lip, which we mentioned earlier, helps control the flow of the wine. It gently encourages the taster to tilt their head back, allowing the wine to fall directly, by gravity, onto the front of the tongue. This placement lets the sweetness at the tip of the tongue and the acidity along the sides reach a perfect balance. At the same time, the aromas enter the olfactory system from both the nose and the mouth, enhancing the overall sensory experience. Third, its lightweight crystal construction. Riedel uses high-quality, machine-blown crystal glass to create an exceptionally thin bowl and a precisely cut lip. This gives the drinker a more refined tactile sensation and ensures nothing interferes with how delicately the wine is perceived in the mouth. The thin crystal also elevates the overall visual elegance of the glass, We hope today's episode helps you feel more confident in choosing the right glass for any wine you enjoy, whether it's a classic table wine or a beautiful ice wine. By understanding how different glasses work with different styles of wine, you can select the one that best matches your preferences and fully appreciate everything a great wine has to offer. May your wine glass become not just a vessel, but a tool that allows each wine to reveal its true charm. In our next class, we'll raise our glasses and truly enjoy the beauty of ice wine. We'll also begin a delicious culinary journey to explore how ice wine pairs with different foods and how to bring out its best in every sip. If you enjoyed this program, please subscribe, like, and leave us a comment. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in the next class.